What's up, guys? It's day 2 in Vancouver, Canada. I just got back from the Sheraton Hotel. Well, actually, I got back probably an hour ago. I just got back to my hotel room after leaving James from his hotel room. We were formulating questions, the cast members of When Calls the Heart, because us at AfterBuzz TV are an exclusive media outlet, and we are one of the only people. There's only 2 media outlets, but AfterBuzz TV and someone else were the only media outlets that actually get interview time and sit down time with some of the cast members of When Calls the Heart. We get Aaron Krakow, Daniel Lissing, Lori Loughlin, Pascal Hutton, and we also get Paul Green. He apparently is a new character on the show. We're going to talk to him about, hopefully learn more about him and his involvement on the show. I'm really excited. It's what day is it? It's Friday. It's Friday, December 2nd. Today was fun. This morning, got up early. I slept like a baby. I'm on a king-size bed. I actually slept. This insomniac slept. It was amazing. And then I got up early, got ready, and met up with James. We went down to the hotel and had coffee. I had coffee. James had tea. I think he had tea. And then, came back, recouped, and then we went on our merry way. We hit up Vancouver as much as we could for Vancouver. We took the SkyTrain, which is like literally a block away from us. It's down the block. It's not even a block. It's just you cross the street and there it is. That down to Olympic Village. It was a nice area. Just buildings and Starbucks. So after my coffee, we went to Starbucks and we actually both got hot chocolate. It was a nice area. I mean, there really wasn't much there other than stores. James unfortunately lost his hat, so we had to go to a store, actually get a hat for him. And the people were so nice. They could obviously tell we were not from Vancouver. And we talked to this one lady who was behind us in the checkout lane. She was super nice. She gave us a hug. We just started talking. Yeah, she gave us a genuine hug without pickpocketing us or anything. It was pretty cool. So that was like the start of our trip. And then so we went back on the SkyTrain, and then we went down to Granville Island. It took us a while to find Granville Island. We kind of got turned around just a little bit more. So we were just trying to find our bearings of which direction was north every time we got off of the train. We had to figure out, okay, Granville Island's north of us. We're here. We kept looking at maps and different bus terminals. We had to switch buses here and there every once in a while. I lost track of how many buses we rode. It had to be around 5. Switching on and off, going east, west, north, south. But eventually we found Granville Island. It didn't take us long, because I told James, I was like, we have to go to Granville Island. I had a personal thing with it, and apparently it's a big tourist thing here for Vancouver peeps who've never been here. I personally am from a very small town in Granville, Illinois. It's a village. It's not even a town. It was if you look it up on Wikipedia, it literally says village. By definition, it's not a town. It's a village. I'm from Granville, Illinois. This place is called Granville Island. Cool thing about it, it's spelled exactly the same way. Granvill. E. At the E. Granville Island. It's a big thing here. Big touristy. There's a lot of markets, a lot of shopping. There's shopping centers, kind of like a farmer's market there. A lot of cool things. We walked around, and it's right there on the port there. There's the waterfront. We saw ships. We saw kind of a skyline. It was pretty. It was also very rainy. It was very gray. That didn't bog us down one bit. I mean, I'm from the Midwest. I know crap weather. That's nothing new to me, honestly. It was cool, though. We saw some shops and stuff. We stopped by Bridges Restaurant and had really good lunch. This clam chowder soup. Phenomenal. I demolished it. No, it was so good. James got the same thing, and then we both shared a salad. Then we went into the actual market. So James got me chocolate. I got him an apple. He was healthy, I was not. We walked around to some cool places. bought some ornaments for the ornament exchange. So we left Granville Island, and we did it. And James said that he was going to take me to the Vancouver Center. He said it was a really cool place. Walked around, a lot of buildings. There were some parts, like some streets, that looked like Chicago. For all those who, I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago, but like the look of it looks exactly what you would find in Chicago. It was very cool. It kind of felt like home a little bit. We found this arcade place that James wanted to play. James played a few games. He played Galaga and Tetris. We did that, and then we went to a bookstore called, what's it called? Indigo Books. My book's over there. Of course, they got something. They're books. The people were super nice, of course. So the service in Canada, people are just generally nice here. Not that it's odd, it's just not as common in LA. But we did all of that within, we left at like 10:30, got back at 3. We did it within 5 hours. It wasn't bad at all. We came back here, recouped, refreshed, got ready. We went over to the Sheraton and met a bunch of Hearties. We walked in, big conference room. We were kind of fashionably late. Well, the thing is, we were supposed to get there by like 5:15. Me getting ready, and then James was a little bit late. We were both just kind of later than what we were expecting. We got there around like 6. We got there and got back, met a few Hearties already, and we signed in. Big conference room where everyone was seated. I didn't realize how many people were in it. And I saw Bobby was already talking at the front, on the mic, talking to everybody. I saw her and I just like waved, just a little bit. And then here she calls us out. She's like, "Oh, I see James and Marissa," and she brings us forward to the actual front. Now, I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. Wasn't expecting it. And like she announced it to everyone, like, people from AfterBuzz are here. The AfterBuzz people are here. That was cool. That wasn't expected. Honestly, I was just waving to say hi. Brian Bird was there. He talked a little bit. We had testimonials. James was the first one. I was like, "James, say something." He was like, he wanted to say something. I'm like, "Hey, you have the bigger personality. Go." He was the first person to speak during the testimonial. It was nice. It was nice hearing everybody's stories and how When It Calls to the Heart have impacted them, and how the Hearties have, like, the community of the Hearties and how great they are. The love and support that the Hearties give each other. It's not to be messed with, that's for sure. Forced to be reckoned with, for sure. We listened to the testimonials, and then also after that we watched the first 20 minutes of the Christmas premiere that will air in 3 weeks. That was cool. It was already so good. It was such a good setup that we just wanted to watch more, obviously. We're gonna have to tune in when it's Christmas time. Then afterwards, apparently, everyone had to get up, move to another room, mingle, congregate there. James and I stayed in the big conference room. We just talked to a bunch of people. Met Jeanette Oak. She was there. Met her. Thanked her for calling into our Book Circle Online show a couple months ago. She was great. Super sweet. Just super appreciative of the community. You can just obviously tell she never expected all this to come from her books, so she's just generally thankful. I like her. Talked to a lot of cool people. A lot of cool Hearties that I know via Twitter, but not really in life. I'm gonna forget everyone's name, so I won't even start naming people because I'm afraid of leaving people out. Yeah, we also talked to Brian Bird. We talked to Brian Bird. He knows us. He recognized us. Talked about the show. We introduced our show to a few other people who haven't watched our show, so hopefully they'll tune in again. I'm sorry, I'm tired, guys. It's been a long day. I'm trying to power through this. It was nice talking to Brian. Talked to him for a good 10 minutes. And then we went to the restaurant there. And then we just saw Brian. He was still around talking, making his way around to all the different tables that the Hearties were still at the restaurant. He was just talking to them. And I was telling James, I was like, for someone who's worked on so many movies, so many television shows, he's been in this industry for years. It's nice to see an executive producer who still care and still pride and passion into their work. It also shows that love and affection back to the audience and actually takes the time to talk to the fans and interact with them. Because I've met a lot of executive producers here in this industry thanks to my job. Fortunately, I've made a lot of connections and to executive producers of high-end shows. And they don't do that. They don't do that to the capacity that Brian Berger does. It's stuff like that also that will make me keep watching When Calls the Heart. Knowing that the good people behind this show support the people who are watching this show. What you give is what you'll also receive in return. And Brian gives. He gives his time. He gives his affection towards his fans of the fans of the show, fans of him. Like he makes the time for people. Therefore, we should make the time for him and his show. You get in return what you give out, that whole thing. It's nice to see him. And he even, for if you're ever back in LA, we'd like to have you back on the show. Because he was talking to the Hearties. He's like, you guys have a really cool studio, and what you guys do is fun. And I was like, yeah, if you're ever back in LA, you can come to the studio whenever. He's like, yeah, I definitely want to be back in your show. Hearties heard it, too. He said he'd come back. And then after that, James and I left, and we came back to our hotel. I just spent probably... What time is it? It's 12:15. I spent probably 45 minutes with James formulating questions for our cast members tomorrow. I get to talk to Aaron and Dan and Lori and Pascal. I'm just so excited. Fortunately, met Aaron before. Never met Dan. Never met Lori. She's been on huge shows, and I'm excited to meet Pascal because her character's so fun. And then we get to meet Paul Green, who's new to the show, but it should be fun because I'm sure no one else had probably interviewed him about his character because he's so new. We'll get good content no matter what. See, the thing is, James and I have completely different hosting styles when it comes to interviewing, and I think that's why our show works. When we host together, we're talking about the same things. And when it comes to interviewing, it's a whole different ballgame. It's just a different game in general. The way he interviews, he talks in points, like certain points he wants to cover, and he can just because he's a better interviewer than I am. I'm not even denying that. He's done it for years. He's done more interviews than I ever have. Ever will do. He's just so naturally better at formulating questions on the spot, on the fly. So he talks about points, and then his secondary questions just come up. However, I know what I want to talk about, but the way I get into a question is I have to have everything formulated, so I don't sound like a babbling idiot when I'm thinking of a brand new question. I know it's written in my mind, word for word, how I want to say it. Because if I don't, and that's the thing. That's why I take so many notes. If I don't write it down, my mind will literally run rampant. I can't tell you where it will go if I don't have a clear, I don't even know what you call it, a clear execution of what I want to say. Something that just keeps me straight throughout everything. My mind just does not work like that. It has to be formulated before I do it. It has to be scripted in a way, James has some good questions. I have good questions. It's just a matter of how we actually ask them to get the best questions out. We're still trying to figure out the setup. We know we're in a green room. We know there's tables and panels. We don't know if it's going to be individually or if it's going to be in a group. We just know that we get them for 30 minutes, which is more than what a lot of people are going to get with them, especially at this event. They're going to get mobbed. Fortunately, James and I, we've been in media for years. We know how to properly treat talent. You should be excited. Everyone should be excited when they meet stars of a show. Everyone, that's just a natural thing. but it's also how you treat them, because you do have to remember they are regular people at the end of the day, because I wouldn't want to be mobbed, trust me. I'm really excited though, and we have an agreement. James and I came to an agreement. If it is like individually one-on-one, I'm gonna talk to Aaron and Dan. Yep, that's right. I'm gonna talk to the leads of the show, and then James is gonna talk to Lori and Pascal. It's actually a good mutual understanding, because he's like, you started this, so it's only fair that you get the two leads. I'm like, that's fine. I would love to talk to them. I've already talked to Aaron. I haven't met Daniel, but like, I would love to talk to him. James actually had watched Lori for years, back to the Edge of Night, back in those days, before I was even born. Back in those days. And he really loves the character of Rosemary, so he really wants to just talk to Pascal as well. So it's totally fine. My thing is, I just want to meet them all, say hi, and let that be that. I'll be happy with the ever I get it. I'm really excited. Honestly, I'm really excited. I should get sleep, because I have to be up in like 6 hours now. Shout out to the Hearties team, who are literally running on fumes and coffee, I'm sure. They can do it. But it's like, as much love as you show the cast members, show that same love towards the Hearties team. Because without them, we would not be here either. So, let's just be aware of that, you guys. Be aware of that. Off to another day. Off to day 3 in Vancouver. Today was a fun day. Did a lot. We hit up Vancouver today, and we saw a lot of cool stuff. And met a lot of Hearties. And hopefully tomorrow, meet even more. All to the ones that we didn't even get to meet tonight. I'm really excited for these interviews tomorrow, because it's gonna be awesome. Awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Alright. Good night. And on to day 3.
Gone away is the new bird. Here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.